The book of John chapter 1, we see 4 different ways there that the disciples came to Jesus, particularly Andrew, Peter, Philip, and Nathaniel in the book of John chapter 1. We find that Andrew came to Christ, who's Peter's brother. He came to follow Christ through the preaching of John the Baptist, when John said, "Here is the Lamb of God that taketh the sin of the world." In other words, Andrew was converted to follow Jesus through the preaching of John. And then Andrew went and witnessed to his brother Peter that he has found the Christ. And Peter believed through the witnessing of his brother Andrew. But Philip, on the other hand, there was no witness, there was no preacher, but Christ himself came and called Philip himself. And then Philip went and called Nathaniel. But Nathaniel did not believe through the witness of Philip. He had to have an encounter with Jesus, because when Nathaniel comes, because he says, "Is there anything good that can come out of Nazareth?" And Philip says, "Oh, come and see for yourself." And then when he comes into contact with Jesus, Jesus comes and says, "Here is a true Israelite in whom there's no defect." And then Nathaniel wonders, how do you know me? And Jesus says, "I saw you under the fig tree while you were sitting there before Philip called you." That is a prophetic word. In other words, Jesus prophesies on Nathaniel through the word of knowledge. And because of that prophetic encounter, Nathaniel then believed through having a prophetic encounter, or rather a manifestation of the working of the Spirit. These are all the different ways that God uses to bring us to Christ, which means ukuthi mina ngishunyayeziwe ukuze ngamukele uJesu, angabe manje sengicabanga ukuthi wonke komunye umuntu uzofika kuJesu ngendlela nami engafika ngayo kuJesu, ngokushunyayezwa emvuselelweni, ngokushunyayezwa enkonzweni, ngokushunyayezwa kwi-open air. Ugenuine nalo okusherwe naye ivangeli through the witnessing, the one-on-one witnessing, which means nawe njengomzalwane ungacabanga ukuthi abantu bazoza kuJesu ngokuthi bamemele enkonzweni kuphela. Kodwa umuntu ozomemela enkonzweni angasindiswa kodwa. Okudinga ukuthi kunokuthi ummemele esontweni, mtshele ngoJesu, mfakazele ngoJesu, ukuze akhole uJesu through the witnessing, because when umeme esontweni nje kanti uNkulunkulu ordaine ukuthi lo muntu asindiswe through your witnessing for Jesus. And omunye uzoza kuJesu, there are people abangashunyayezwanga. And we think because abazange bashunyayezwa intshumayelo njengathi ukukholwa kwabo kukho genuine, insindiso yabo ayikho genuine, sifuna thina ukuthi umuntu ashunyayezwe aphakamise isandla athi ngiyayikhetha inkosi, kanti uJesu ukhona abantu azambule kubo yena ngoba efuna bamlandele. And most of those people are in the prophetic ministry, and we reject ukusindiswa kwabo ngoba nakusithi abashunyayezwanga. Abantu fanele bashunyayezwe, umpostoli uthi abashunyayezwa abantu ukuze baphenduke noma ukuze basindiswe, ukuze bakholwe kufanele bashunyayezwe. There are people whom Christ chooses to reveal himself to them directly. And then Nathaniel khona beze enkonzweni nje kwasamuntu asindisa ukuthi wayekade egula wathandazela, omunye wayekade mhlambe enamadimoni wakhulekelwa wakhishwa amadimoni, omunye waprofetwa. And these manifestations of power, these working of spiritual gifts, they brought him to come to believe to Christ. So uNkulunkulu employs any tool, any method that he chooses to bring us to Christ, so long as the end result is us believing. Bonke labo beza Kristu ngendlela engafani, kodwa into eyodwa there is common among all of them. They all believed that Jesus Christ is King of Kings, that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. They believed in the Lordship of Jesus Christ. Ukuthi kweza kanjani kuKristu akubalekile. Okubalekile ukuthi uyakholwa ukuthi uKristu uyinkosi. Khona abantu abasindiswa behleka, khona abasindiswa bekhala, khona abasindiswa kumnandi, khona abasindiswa kunzima. Kodwa into ecommon ngomuntu osindisiwe ukuthi uyakholwa ukuthi uKristu uyinkosi. So let us stop discriminating against one another. Let us stop ukubekelana imbandela ukuthi hayi mongasindiswa kanje shuthi awusindisiwe kwangempela. God chose to save me this way. God chose to introduce Christ to you that way, and God chose to introduce Christ to this one the other way. Okuyona nto ebalekile is that we believe in Jesus. because faith is the only condition for salvation.